Shalom, everyone. I have the duty and pleasure today to turn to our generous Achenu B'nai Yisrael and ask for support for a cause that is very dear to my heart and is very dear to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is even more important. And that is the wonderful yeshiva of Ohr Somayach, with which I've had the privilege of being affiliated now for 14 years full-time, and really another 10 years or 12 years before that on my occasional visits to Eretz Yisrael before I made Aliyah. You know, obviously there are many, many valuable causes in the Torah world, and those causes should be supported. I'm not here to denigrate any particular cause. But I think when we think about the unique work that Ohr Somayach does, it certainly deserves your very, very careful consideration. We live in a world in which virtually 85% or more of the Jewish people are totally not connected to Judaism. Maybe they're Reform, or maybe not even that. And as vibrant as Orthodoxy is, and Baruch Hashem, it is vibrant far beyond what people thought would be possible, certainly in the United States, but still it is a tiny percentage. What's going to happen to the 85%? Intermarriage itself is 7 out of 10 in the United States. That means 7 out of 10 marriages which have one Jew, the other partner is going to be a non-Jew. The Jewish people are going to disappear. Now, yes, of course, Hashem made a promise. There will always be a segment of Am Yisrael that will be around. Yeah, but they may get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. What do we do about the rest? Do we forget about them? Do we say they're not important? If a family, if a father and mother have 10 children and 8 of them are dead or dying, do we simply say, Baruch Hashem, I got 2, who cares about the other 8? Do you think HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not crying over his beloved children who are not connected to him, that he yearns to love and embrace and take care of? But the children don't even know where their parent is. Who's going to help? Who's going to address it? Who's going to care? For over 50 years, Ohr Somayach has been one of the premier addresses in the world for those people. The Jew who doesn't know his tradition could come to Ohr Somayach, be welcomed with love, with compassion, with acceptance, with respect, and slowly but surely be guided into the traditions of our people, into the Torah, into a relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it's done in such a variety of formats. There are people who come here for a year, people who come here for 5 years, people who come here for 10 years, people who come for 2 weeks, people who come for 1 day. We will make ourselves available in any format and in any manner that will get the job done. Because Ohr Somayach is not an institution that, so to speak, cares about the institution. We are an institution that is committed to the individual Jew, to give them the framework where they could reclaim their legacy. Uri Zohar, Zichrono Livracha, who is known as kind of the Johnny Carson of Israel, he was a very, very famous comedian who became a Baal Tshuva and a big tzaddik. He just died a short while ago. I think that he wrote a book, I believe the title was We Were Robbed. And he basically said, what a shanda, what a cherpa, what a busha, that generations of Jews were simply robbed of what Judaism was, what Jewish identity was. It's as if, their whole legacy was taken from them. It was ripped away. And they don't even know it. I mean, imagine if it would just be money, which is far less important. Imagine a person was a pauper who was living in abject poverty all of his life. And then he discovers at some point in his life that he was entitled to a $10 million Yerusha, which he never got because nobody bothered to file the paperwork. How is he going to feel? Well, rest assured, my friends, that the Torah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is infinitely times more important than the $10 million legacy. How is that person going to feel after 120 years when they come to Shemayim and they discover all of the riches they could have had? that nobody ever bothered to give to them. Nobody cared. How are we going to answer that question? Forget about how that person is going to feel. How are we going to feel if after 120 years, we think we've done mitzvahs, we think we've done Torah, we think we're okay in Olam Haba. And then we get the big question. What did you do about your next door neighbor? What did you do about the 85% of the Jews in the world who are menutak, who are totally removed from Torah and mitzvahs? Did you care? Did you think about them? Did you try to help? Yeah, Pirkei Avos does say, Lo alacha amlacha ligmor, none of us can finish the job. Hashem understands that. Hashem is not going to say, why didn't you make the whole world from? Okay, I have my limits. All of us have our limits. But did you try? Did you care? Did you try to make some difference? I fear that that's going to be a very powerful question that all of us are going to be asked. And some of us might not have the right answer. So, Rabbosai, I'm here to give you at least a partial answer after 120 years. To be mishtatef in what Ohr Somayach is doing, because Ohr Somayach is working with that part of the Jewish people that would otherwise be lost. That part of the Jewish people without Ohr Somayach would be likely to intermarry and never know about Shabbos and Kashrus, and to have children who will similarly follow that same pattern, may be lost forever. Ohr Somayach, Baruch Hashem, is here to help those people. And when you support Ohr Somayach, you become a partner in all that Ohr Somayach is doing. And after 120 years, when God asks you, what have you done for my children who did not know me and were not connected to me, you will be able to say, I tried to help. So, Rabbosai, although I generally, I'm not always that comfortable asking for direct financial assistance, I will do something that's not even so easy for me. And I appeal particularly to those who benefit from Ohr Somayach directly. I mean, every Jewish person benefits from Ohr Somayach, at least indirectly, because our graduates go into communities and they become rabbis, they become educators, and those who are professionals or business people are part of the vibrant religious community. And many of them give shiurim and write svarim. I could actually show you a whole shelf, more than a shelf, of svarim written by our alumni who came to Ohr Somayach knowing nothing. So everybody benefits indirectly, for sure. But many of you also benefit directly. Over the past few years, since COVID, one of the silver linings of COVID is that Ohr Somayach has greatly increased its internet presence. So without getting involved in self-promotion, my own podcast, I understand, is relatively popular. And Baruch Hashem, I'm not the only one. We have many, many rabbis in Ohr Somayach who have posted shiurim that many, many people enjoy, they benefit from. And even when they're critical, they do so because they're engaged in the material. So the truth is they're benefiting from that as well, and they're enjoying it as well. Listen, I give people a chance to vent. That's also something I'm giving them. So I turn to people who are directly benefiting from Ohr Somayach, which, by the way, makes all of this available free of charge, that perhaps you could reciprocate a little bit. And we would ask respectfully that people donate $180 if they're able, or more and more if they're able to do that. And in that way, number one, I think you're showing your hakaras hatov for the shiurei Torah that are made available. But number two, and maybe even more importantly, you are helping in the essential mission of the yeshiva to bring Judaism and Torah and connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu to every single segment of Klal Yisrael. Over 50 years, Ohr Somayach has had great, great success. But as successful as we are, it is still tipa min hayam. It is a drop in the bucket. So many Jews need to be reached. So many Jews need to be connected. The last thing we can have is the attitude that our job is finished. Our job is not finished. Baruch Hashem, we've made a good start, but it's only a start. We need to keep on going. If we operated for 50 years, I don't know when Mashiach will come, but it should be HaRav, but at least until Mashiach comes, we got to keep on going, and not just keep on going, we have to expand. We have to do more. We have to step up to the plate and realize that we are surrounded with a fire of ignorance, a fire of assimilation. And in many, many ways, this is an especially auspicious time to kind of expand our outreach efforts. Precisely because of events like October 7, 2023, and the resurgence of anti-Semitism in the United States and really throughout the world, many, many Jews are beginning to question what the meaning of their lives are. Many Jews are searching. Many Jews are looking. Many Jews want to be connected. We have to be there so we can be a place that they turn. If, God forbid, we wouldn't be there, or we wouldn't be able to do the work on the same level we want to do the work, then all of those Jews who will be looking may not have a place to go to. So, in a sense, as the demand expands, the supply has to expand commensurate with the demand. Ohr Somayach tries to be the supplier of what these Jews want and what these Jews need. Baruch Hashem, the demand is there. The Navi Amos predicted this. The Navi Amos says, behold, days are coming in which there will be a famine, but it will not be a famine for water or a famine for bread, but it will be a famine to hear the words of God. Baruch Hashem, that famine is here. But we have to be able to supply the bread and the water. So once again, I turn to Acheinu B'nai Yisrael. I know that there are many, many demands on all of you, all of us. But bringing Jews to HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes to the very survival of Am Yisrael. And it expresses our Avat Hashem, our love for God, and our love for Jews, and our love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And therefore, there is nothing more important to the future of Am Yisrael than strengthening an institution like Ohr Somayach. So, as I say, although it is a little personally uncomfortable for me, once again, I call upon you to be as generous as you can in supporting the vital work of Ohr Somayach. And this, Be'ezrat Hashem, will be a giant step towards the Geula Shlema that we hope should come b'mheira v'yameinu.